Evan was a 17-year-old, weighing about 220 pounds, and he often felt alone. At school, some students bullied him, calling him names and laughing at his appearance. He kept to himself, but he always secretly admired one person, Lily, the most beautiful girl in school. Evan had a huge crush on her, though he never thought she would notice him. One day, Evan's world turned upside down when Lily invited him to a party at her house. He could hardly believe it and thought this might be his chance. Determined to make a great impression, he rented a suit and even borrowed a fancy car. To make everything perfect, Evan borrowed money from friends to buy expensive gifts for Lily. He imagined her joy when she received the gifts, thinking, maybe this is the beginning of something special. On the day of the party, Evan was both nervous and excited. Dressed in his new suit, he drove to Lily's house, where students were already having fun. Shyly, he handed Lily the gifts he had bought. But suddenly, things took a strange turn. Lily and her friends started laughing. Evan felt his stomach twist in knots. Then, Lily stood up, calling for everyone's attention. "It was all just a bet," she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "I wanted to see if I could make the ugliest boy in school fall for me." The room erupted in laughter, and Evan's heart shattered. He felt his legs weaken, his face turning red from embarrassment. He wanted to vanish, but the humiliation continued as Lily's real boyfriend stepped forward, sneering, "Did you really think you could ever impress her?" With tears in his eyes, Evan ran out of the party, his mind a blur of anger and shame. When Evan got home, he locked himself in his room and cried until his eyes were sore. He was heartbroken and humiliated, and it seemed like everyone was laughing at him. Clips of the party spread across social media, and Evan felt as if the whole world had seen his embarrassment. The pain was overwhelming, but deep inside, a new feeling began to grow, a fierce desire for revenge. For 2 weeks, Evan didn't go to school. He shut himself off, ignoring his phone and avoiding everyone. During those days, he relived the humiliation over and over, each memory stoking his anger. But he knew he couldn't hide forever. Eventually, he decided to go back to school, although he wanted to go unnoticed. To protect himself from the harsh stares and mocking laughter, he bought a mask to cover his face, hoping it would help him blend in. The first day back was worse than he'd imagined. As soon as Evan entered the classroom, laughter erupted, and he heard Lily's voice ring through the room, mocking him. He felt as though the walls were closing in, and his heart pounded with fear and shame. Lily's friend Mara even tried to pull off his mask, but unexpectedly, someone intervened. A quiet girl named Anna, who usually stayed in the background, stepped forward and grabbed Mara's hand. Anna had earned a scholarship and understood what it felt like to be mocked. Her mother worked as a housekeeper at Lily's home, and Anna was all too familiar with being looked down on. "Leave him alone," Anna said firmly, her voice steady. The class went silent, surprised by her courage. Anna stood her ground, her eyes full of defiance as she faced Lily and Mara. Lily's expression darkened. "How dare you speak to us like that?" she snapped, her voice laced with scorn. "Don't forget that your mother is just a poor maid in my house." The laughter resumed, but some students seemed uncomfortable, feeling that Lily had gone too far. After school, Evan caught up with Anna as she was walking home. He was filled with gratitude and a little guilt. "Thank you for standing up for me," he said softly, "and I'm sorry about what Lily said." Anna gave him a small, sad smile. "I'm used to it," she replied. Evan looked at her with a new appreciation. For the first time, he realized how lucky he was to have someone by his side. They exchanged contact information, and as they talked, Evan began to feel a glimmer of hope. Just as they were finishing their conversation, Lily's family's car pulled up. Evan noticed Anna look away, clearly uncomfortable. "Isn't that your ride?" he asked. "Yes, but I don't ride with her," Anna said, her voice low. I help my mom with the chores first. Lily never lets me ride with her, even though her dad instructed the driver to bring us both home. Evan watched the car drive off, feeling a surge of anger on Anna's behalf. He realized just how heartless Lily really was, and any lingering affection he had for her turned to disgust. Evan decided to offer Anna a ride home, and she accepted with a grateful smile. When they arrived at Lily's house, Anna got out, thanking him once more. As Evan watched her go inside, he knew that he had found a true friend, someone who understood pain, but still had the courage to be kind. As Anna entered the house, her brief moment of happiness faded. The first thing she noticed was the floor of the living room, drenched in dirty water. Her mother was on her knees, scrubbing furiously, her eyes red and swollen. "Mom, what happened?" Anna asked, rushing over to her mother. Her mother looked up, trying to smile through her exhaustion. "It was Lily," she whispered, voice trembling. "She came home upset and started pouring water all over the floor. She said awful things and wouldn't let me clean it up until now." Anna clenched her fists, anger building inside her. She couldn't believe how cruel Lily was, especially to her mother, who worked so hard to make sure Anna could attend a good school. "This has to stop," Anna muttered, standing up with determination. "She can't treat us like this." Just as Anna was about to confront Lily, a cold laugh echoed from the staircase. Anna looked up to see Lily standing at the top, arms crossed and a sneer on her face. "Next time, remember who you're dealing with," Lily taunted. She picked up a bucket filled with water and dumped it down the stairs, splashing Anna and her mother. Anna's mother grabbed her arm, pulling her back. "Please, Anna. Don't," she whispered, her voice filled with exhaustion. "It's not worth it." Anna felt tears of frustration stinging her eyes, but she held them back. She hugged her mother, trying to comfort her, but deep down she made a promise to herself. Someday she would make things right. Lily wouldn't get away with treating people like this forever. That night, while Anna and her mother finally finished cleaning, Lily was scheming. She tiptoed into the kitchen, where Anna's mother kept her bag, and quietly slipped out the house key. With a sly grin, she slipped it into her pocket, planning her next move. Later that evening, Anna and her mother were ready to go home, tired from the long day. But when they reached their front door, they realized they didn't have the key. Panic set in as they searched through their belongings, but it was nowhere to be found. "Maybe we left it at Lily's house," Anna suggested, worry tightening in her chest. She decided to go back and look, leaving her mother waiting outside in the cool night air. When Anna arrived at Lily's house, it was late, and everything seemed eerily quiet. She was about to knock when she heard voices coming from the living room. She froze, hiding just out of sight, and listened. "She's out of control," Lily's mother was saying, her voice filled with frustration. "Did you know she borrowed money behind our backs for that party?" Lily's father sighed. "She's been nothing but trouble. Sometimes I wonder if we made the right choice taking her in after her real mother passed." Anna's eyes widened as she listened, piecing together the shocking revelation. Lily wasn't even their biological daughter. Her mind raced, and for the first time, she felt a strange sympathy for Lily, but it didn't excuse her cruelty. When the conversation ended, Anna knocked, pretending she hadn't overheard anything. Lily's mother let her in, and they searched for the missing key, but it was nowhere to be found. Anna suspected that Lily had taken it, but she didn't say anything. Anna returned home empty-handed, her mind buzzing with everything she had learned. Her mother was waiting outside, shivering in the cold, and as they sat together on the steps, the sky grew darker, and rain began to pour. They huddled close, soaked and exhausted, but they held on to each other, finding comfort in their shared resilience. The following day at school, Lily's behavior only got worse. She strutted through the halls, bullying anyone who dared cross her path. But for once, Evan wasn't paying her any attention. He had recently reconnected with his cousin, Leo, a rising singer who was starting to gain fame. During a visit, Leo showed Evan his latest song, and as they talked, a notification popped up on Leo's phone. Evan glanced at the screen and froze. It was a message from Lily, saying, "I'm one of your biggest fans. Please reply." Evan couldn't believe it. The girl who had humiliated him in front of everyone was now desperately trying to get Leo's attention. Leo noticed Evan's surprise. "Do you know her?" he asked. "Yeah," Evan replied, struggling to hide his grin. "She's my classmate." Leo chuckled. "Well, it looks like she's pretty eager to talk to me." He handed Evan the phone, saying, "Go ahead, reply if you want." An idea sparked in Evan's mind. He quickly typed a message, pretending to be Leo, and gave Lily a WhatsApp contact to message Leo directly. Within minutes, messages flooded in. Lily was gushing with admiration, and Evan could hardly believe his eyes. The girl who once crushed his confidence was now begging for his attention, oblivious to the fact that she was actually texting Evan. The next day, Lily couldn't stop talking about the upcoming school prom. She sent Leo a message saying, "There's a prom at my school soon. It's going to be amazing." Evan, still pretending to be Leo, replied, "Would you like me to go with you?" Lily's heart raced, and she eagerly agreed, fantasizing about arriving with the famous singer and stealing the spotlight. Meanwhile, Evan's schoolmates were busy preparing for the prom, all pairing up and planning their outfits. Evan was initially discouraged, as girls continued to turn him down. But then he gathered the courage to ask Anna to be his date. Anna was surprised but genuinely touched by his offer. With a warm smile, she said, "I'd love to go with you, Evan." Their friendship blossomed over the following weeks. Anna even helped Evan get in shape, encouraging him to work out and stick to a healthier lifestyle. They spent hours together, supporting each other and growing closer. As Evan began to feel more confident, he realized how much Anna meant to him. She wasn't just his friend, she was his ally, someone who genuinely cared. By prom night, Evan looked and felt like a new person, his confidence shining through. But he wasn't done with Lily just yet. A few days before the event, he sent her a message as Leo, saying, "I'm sorry, but I don't think I can make it to the prom. My car got into an accident." Lily panicked, insisting, "Don't worry. I can provide a car. You just need to show up." Determined to make a grand entrance, she even stole one of her mother's expensive necklaces and sold it to cover her expenses for the night. But as the big day approached, Lily's plans were about to unravel in ways she couldn't have imagined. Prom night arrived, and the entire school was buzzing with excitement. Students arrived in their finest clothes, eager to make memories and dance the night away. Lily, meanwhile, stood before her mirror, admiring herself in a sparkling gown, feeling like royalty. She had rented an expensive car using the money she got from selling her mother's necklace and imagined herself as the center of attention. However, one thing was bothering her: Leo hadn't answered any of her recent messages. Just as she began to worry, her phone buzzed with a message from Leo, "Meet me at the school. I'll be there soon." Relieved, Lily hurried outside and climbed into the rented car, her heart racing with excitement. When she arrived at the school, she checked her phone repeatedly, waiting for a message. Finally, Leo messaged, "I'm here." She quickly left the prom hall, her heels clicking as she hurried to meet him outside. But when she spotted him, something felt off. Leo was wearing a long coat and a mask that covered his face. "Why are you dressed like that?" Lily asked, trying to hide her confusion. "It's a surprise," he replied in a low voice. "Let's make a grand entrance." Satisfied with his response, Lily held his hand as they walked through the hallway. Students began whispering, intrigued by Lily's mysterious date. Her ex-boyfriend, who was also there, watched in shock and heartbreak, unable to believe that Lily had moved on so quickly, and with a celebrity, no less. They reached the stage where everyone could see them. Lily's heart pounded as she looked around at the crowd, soaking in the attention. "Reveal yourself," someone shouted from the crowd, urging Leo to remove his mask. Lily smiled, thrilled to be at the center of the spectacle, and whispered, "It's time." Slowly, Leo removed his mask, and the room went silent as he revealed his face, a scruffy, old man with a toothless grin and ragged clothes. Lily's smile faded into horror as she realized she had been duped. The entire room burst into laughter, her ex-boyfriend laughing the loudest, followed by her friends who had eagerly gathered to watch her big moment. Mortified, Lily bolted off the stage and ran outside, her face burning with shame. As she reached the parking lot, she noticed Evan and Anna arriving together. Evan, who had once been mocked, now looked handsome and confident, his transformation stunning. Anna, dressed in a beautiful gown, looked radiant as she walked beside him. The two of them seemed to glow with happiness, the perfect picture of resilience and self-assurance. Lily ran past them, unable to bear the humiliation. She jumped into the rented car, her vision blurred by tears, and sped off. Her hands shook on the steering wheel, and in her rush to get away, she didn't see the tree until it was too late. The car slammed into it with a loud crash, the luxurious vehicle now a wreck. When she finally made it home, bruised and devastated, she tried to open the door, but it was locked. Frantically, she called her mother, only to receive a single text back, "We're done, Lily. Go to your grandmother's. We're tired of the trouble you've caused, *." Lily stared at the message in disbelief, realizing her parents had found out about the necklace she'd stolen and sold. They knew everything, and Evan had provided proof. Her world crumbled as she sank down on the doorstep, realizing the depth of her mistakes. Her parents had taken her in after her mother, who had worked as their housekeeper, passed away. They had given her a life of comfort and privilege, but she had thrown it all away in her pursuit of popularity and admiration. Now, she had lost everything: the respect of her family, her friends, and even her place at school. The next day back at school, Evan and Anna walked through the hallways together, their heads held high. Evan no longer cared about the whispers and stares. He had found true confidence and friendship, and with Anna by his side, he felt like he could face anything. Their journey had taught them the value of kindness, resilience, and self-respect. Evan no longer needed validation from those who didn't care about him, and he was grateful for Anna's friendship, which had helped him see his own worth. As for Lily, she returned to live with her grandmother, facing a new reality far removed from the life she had known. Her dreams of popularity and glamour had shattered, leaving her with only regret and the hope of one day making amends. And as Evan and Anna danced at the prom that night, they knew they had found something far more valuable than popularity: a friendship that could withstand anything and a sense of self-worth that no one could take away. In the weeks following the prom, Evan and Anna's friendship only grew stronger. They continued to support each other, and Evan found himself more at ease, no longer haunted by the need for others' approval. With Anna's encouragement, he even joined the school's fitness club, realizing that his physical transformation was only a small part of his growth. His true change was internal, and it showed in his newfound confidence and kindness towards others. Meanwhile, Lily was struggling to adjust to life with her grandmother. Far from the comfort and luxury of her previous home, she found herself living a simpler life in a small village, surrounded by people who didn't know her or care about her past reputation. With no internet access and no lavish parties, Lily felt like a stranger in this world. She spent many nights thinking about all the harm she had caused, her mind replaying the moments she had hurt others, especially Evan and Anna. One day, as Lily was helping her grandmother in the garden, she began to open up, sharing her regrets and shame. Her grandmother listened patiently, offering gentle advice. "Everyone makes mistakes, Lily," she said softly. But the only way forward is to face them and make amends, even if it takes time. You can choose to become better. Those words stayed with Lily, and slowly she started making changes in her life. She began volunteering at a local community center, helping with chores and activities for the elderly. Over time, the people in the village began to see her differently. She was no longer the spoiled, self-centered girl they had first met, but someone genuinely trying to improve herself. Back at school, Evan was thriving. He was well-liked not because of his appearance, but because he treated everyone with respect and kindness. Anna continued to be his closest friend, and together they encouraged others to stand up to bullying, even creating a support group for students who felt alone or misunderstood. Their initiative brought together students from all backgrounds, and it wasn't long before they made a noticeable impact, shifting the school's culture towards inclusivity and respect. Months later, during the final school assembly, the principal called Evan and Anna up to the stage to acknowledge their efforts. "These two have shown us all the power of resilience and kindness," he said to the applauding crowd. Evan looked out at his classmates, feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude. He realized that this journey, with all its pain and hardships, had led him to a place of purpose and friendship he'd never dreamed possible. One evening, Evan received a message from an unknown number. It was from Lily. She had heard about the work he and Anna were doing at school and wanted to apologize. She admitted her mistakes and told him about her life now, the struggles she was facing, and the ways she was trying to change. Though he hesitated, Evan decided to reply, keeping his response kind but brief. In time, Lily would continue to rebuild her life, carrying the lessons of humility and empathy. And as for Evan and Anna, they continued to grow, knowing that they had not only changed themselves but had also helped others discover their own strength and worth. Their lives were a testament to the power of forgiveness, friendship, and the incredible transformation that comes from facing challenges together. As the school year came to a close, Evan and Anna's impact on the school community continued to deepen. Their support group had grown beyond their wildest expectations, with students from different grades and backgrounds sharing their experiences and forming friendships. They organized events like group study sessions, volunteer days, and even fitness activities, which encouraged everyone to build confidence in themselves and each other. Evan could hardly believe the difference this small community had made, not only in his own life but in the lives of so many others. Meanwhile, Lily was working hard to rebuild her life back in the village. She continued volunteering at the community center and gradually took on more responsibilities. The elders she helped noticed her sincerity and began to trust her, often sharing stories from their own lives and mistakes. Lily found herself listening intently, learning from them and realizing that everyone has had moments they regret. The kindness and forgiveness these strangers showed her felt like a new beginning, and little by little, her hardened exterior softened. Months later, Lily returned to the city to visit her parents, hoping to talk to them about her progress and to apologize for the trouble she had caused. Her parents listened carefully as she spoke, their expressions a mix of sadness and relief. They forgave her but made it clear that they expected her to continue working on herself. Though it was difficult, Lily accepted their terms, grateful for a second chance. Back at school, Evan received surprising news. Lily was coming back to finish her senior year. When he told Anna, she looked thoughtful. "Do you think she's really changed?" she asked. Evan shrugged. "I don't know, but I think everyone deserves the chance to try." When Lily finally returned, the atmosphere was tense. Many students whispered as she passed, still remembering her former behavior. However, Lily no longer craved their attention. She focused on her studies and kept to herself, determined to prove that she was different. Over time, Evan and Anna noticed her quiet, respectful attitude. She even volunteered to help with some of their school activities, and although most students remained skeptical, Evan saw a glimmer of sincerity in her actions. Slowly, Lily's reputation began to improve, though it was a long, uphill journey. She wasn't as outgoing as before, but she became more genuine, even offering apologies to those she had hurt. One day, Evan, Anna, and Lily were all assigned to a project together. Working side by side felt awkward at first, but they gradually found common ground. Evan observed how much more thoughtful Lily had become. She listened carefully and made an effort to be kind and considerate. By the end of the project, they had settled into an easy rhythm, the shared laughter and ideas replacing the tension of old wounds. When they completed the project, Lily looked at Evan and Anna, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you," she said softly, "for giving me a chance." Evan smiled and nodded, while Anna offered a small, encouraging smile. "Everyone deserves a chance to make things right," she said. The rest of the school year passed peacefully, with Evan, Anna, and even Lily growing in ways they hadn't expected. They each faced their pasts with courage and chose to move forward with compassion and understanding. Though they would go their separate ways after graduation, they left a legacy of resilience, kindness, and personal growth that would continue to inspire others long after they had gone. In the end, the journey they had shared was about much more than overcoming hurt and shame. It was about finding true strength in kindness and embracing the value of second chances. After graduation, Evan, Anna, and Lily each pursued their own dreams, but the experiences they'd shared left an indelible mark on all of them. Evan went on to study psychology, inspired by his journey of self-discovery and his desire to help others overcome adversity. He volunteered with community programs that supported teens facing bullying and self-esteem issues. Each time he worked with someone struggling, he remembered the pain and isolation he once felt and used that understanding to guide and encourage them. His past experiences gave him a rare empathy that helped him connect with people on a deep level. Anna pursued her passion for social work, determined to make a difference in underserved communities. Her upbringing and struggles with bullying had taught her the value of resilience, and she wanted to support others who felt alone or misunderstood. Anna's calm presence and kindness became a lifeline for many, and she found herself building programs that not only offered resources but also a sense of belonging. Through her work, she realized the power of a supportive community, a lesson she and Evan had learned together in school. As for Lily, her journey was perhaps the most transformative. She chose to take a gap year and moved back to her grandmother's village, where she continued volunteering at the community center. Helping others became a source of healing for her, and she eventually began organizing local events and workshops, encouraging young people to stay in school and focus on positive goals. Her past mistakes motivated her to become a role model and make up for the hurt she had once caused. Over time, she earned the respect and trust of the village, becoming a positive influence. One summer, a few years later, Evan received a message from Anna inviting him to a reunion at the community center where Lily worked. Evan agreed, excited to see his old friends and curious about how far they'd all come. When he arrived, he was amazed to see how much the village had changed under Lily's influence. The once small, quiet community center was now bustling with activities, and it was clear that Lily's dedication had made a difference. When he saw Anna, they embraced, sharing stories of the people they'd helped and the challenges they'd faced. Just then, Lily approached them, a warm and genuine smile on her face. She greeted them with a quiet confidence that was far from the girl she used to be. The three of them spent hours reminiscing about high school, sharing laughs and memories, and reflecting on how much they'd all grown. As they said their goodbyes that evening, Lily looked at Evan and Anna, her eyes filled with appreciation. "I'm grateful for everything you both did for me," she said sincerely. "I wouldn't be here without your kindness and patience." Evan and Anna smiled, understanding the unspoken bond they now shared. They each knew that, in their own ways, they had helped each other grow into better people. They had turned their pain into purpose, learning to forgive, let go, and move forward with resilience and hope. As they walked away from the reunion, each of them felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Their shared past had shaped them, but it no longer defined them. Instead, they had used it as a foundation to build lives filled with compassion, courage, and integrity. And they knew that no matter where life would take them, the lessons they'd learned together would guide them forward, reminding them of the power of second chances and the strength that comes from true friendship. As the years passed, Evan, Anna, and Lily continued to stay in touch, their friendship enduring despite the miles between them. Their lives took them to new cities and new challenges, but the lessons of their shared past remained with them, guiding their actions and decisions. Evan eventually opened a wellness center focused on mental health and personal development. His approach was grounded in empathy and understanding, helping young adults and teens who were facing struggles similar to what he had once endured. His center quickly became a place of refuge and support for those in need. On weekends, he led workshops and support groups, bringing together people who, like him, had faced moments of isolation and hardship. Evan often reflected on his own journey, feeling grateful that he could use his experiences to help others find their way. Anna's career in social work thrived as she became an advocate for disadvantaged communities. She worked tirelessly to implement programs that provided both resources and education to underrepresented neighborhoods. Her determination and passion were contagious, inspiring those around her. Anna also began writing about her experiences, publishing articles and stories to raise awareness about issues like bullying, self-esteem, and community building. She knew that by sharing her voice, she could amplify the voices of others who had yet to find their own. Lily, meanwhile, found her calling as a youth counselor in her grandmother's village. Her work at the community center had given her a purpose she hadn't known she needed, and she was now deeply committed to helping young people overcome challenges and stay on a positive path. She often shared her own story of redemption with the teens she counseled, showing them that mistakes didn't have to define them. Her vulnerability and openness earned her the respect and admiration of her community, and she was now known as a mentor and friend to those in need of guidance. One autumn afternoon, years after their high school days, the three friends gathered again, this time for a special event. Evan's wellness center had expanded, and he was holding an open house for the community. Anna had traveled from her city to support him, and Lily had come from her village, bringing a group of young people from the community center with her. As the event began, Evan took a moment to address the gathered crowd. He spoke about his own journey, touching briefly on the experiences that had shaped him and the people who had been there when he needed them most. He introduced Anna and Lily as two of the most important people in his life, sharing how their friendship had been a source of strength and growth. Lily and Anna joined him on stage, and the three of them looked out at the audience, each reflecting on how far they had come. They had transformed their pain into purpose, each finding a unique way to give back to the world. Standing together, they represented resilience, forgiveness, and the power of second chances. After the event, they sat together, reminiscing about their past with smiles and laughter. The once painful memories now felt like distant echoes, reminders of how much they had overcome. Their friendship had endured the tests of time, and they each knew that they would continue to support one another in the years to come. In the fading light of the evening, they made a promise to always stay connected and to never forget the lessons they had learned together. Their journey had not been easy, but it had been worth every step. And as they looked to the future, they knew that whatever challenges awaited, they would face them with the same courage and compassion that had brought them this far. The three friends parted that night with full hearts, knowing that their bond was unbreakable. They were no longer the same people they had been in high school. They were stronger, wiser, and ready to make an even greater impact on the world. Their friendship, born from hardship and forgiveness, had become a legacy of hope, resilience, and transformation.